This, I believe, is going to be a revolutionary approach to raising the areas along driveways. I'm experimenting with like a minimally invasive way to do irrigation installs. My side yard next to the driveway, I'm putting in two Hunter MP rotator strips. They shoot in like little rectangle shapes. So while I was working on getting that started, I noticed that as I rock the edger forward and back to kind of make a wide channel down below to like fit some 3/4 inch or 1 inch PVC, I noticed something really cool. If I started pulling back the handle more towards the driveway side, I was actually able to raise the turf. Most of the area that I have along that driveway is actually anywhere from like a 1/4 inch to an inch below the actual top of the concrete. And by slowly working down, I'm able to raise that soil up. I start by using the edger like I would if I was defining a new edge or cutting some things in. Then I'll go on to the next bit, like a full edger blade, but then I go back and do another cut down, and then I just start rocking it back and forth. This kind of loosens things up a bit. I then exaggerate that rocking motion and pull it forward, and then you can see the soil starting to raise up. You don't want to do it all at once. You want to actually work down little by little. We want to disturb the turf as little as possible. Things you need to look out for, of course, are utilities. One, I do have to watch out for my fiber line for my internet because the AT&T crew buried it 3 millimeters below the surface. I think they didn't even get past any thatch. That's how poorly they did it. Some problems I've ran into have been just crap dirt full of gravel. That's mainly up towards like the midway point of my driveway. I've been running into that. Now I really think this technique's going to work very well in areas to where your yard's almost, pretty level. You don't have a lot of reconstructive work to do. However, you just need to raise it up. If there's like an area that extends beyond, more than honestly probably 6 inches into the yard, this probably won't be a good solution. It may be a good starting point to help bring that turf up to level. But I don't think it'll work in there. We'll have to probably go and do like a traditional type of leveling in that area. If this proves successful, then this will be a really easy way to get that soil level even with your concrete. So the reason for the sand though is I'm going to backfill the trenches with the sand. That will be less likely to recompact. So I'm gonna get about 3 bags of sand, maybe 4, to backfill into this trench area. And we're gonna see how it goes. And then this area here is nothing but rock. It's terrible. I can't get down very far, so I may have to actually just kind of pull this up and do it the old-fashioned way. But I do have some sod that I'm pulling up because I'm making that a little bit bigger, that front bed weed area, to match the other side, which I enlarged earlier this year. Okay, now that we have all those edges kind of lifted and pulled up with the edger and then that floor scraper thing I was using, we need to backfill it with sand. I went ahead and did that already. I poured the sand down deep into the crevice. This area here is going to get an actual chunk of sod from where I extended the bed to raise it up. I'm going to pull all that out a little bit. That stuff was down way too far and it was actually mostly dirt, not a lot of coverage there. So we're going to fix that right now by putting down a little piece of what I pulled up. with all the sand poured down and in place, we just need to work it in a little bit better. Going to use a trusty garden rake for that. Okay, there we have it. I didn't use the drag mat. I don't have a level rake, but that broom works really, really well. So the reason I stumbled upon this idea was I added a couple sprinkler heads. There's some MP strips, got a left and a right strip just for this narrow area. I wanted to try to do a minimally invasive way to install sprinklers that may require a little bit more like sweat equity. Well, it requires a lot more sweat equity. So yeah, just don't do it. Ran into lots of rocks, lots of issues, so I did have to break out the shovel. That was the reasoning for this guy here. Down there worked really well though, because when we bought the house, they had to come through with a bobcat, and that's where the utility hookups were, and it sunk down like 2 feet, so that was like actually decent dirt. So I'm not going to reel mow this area for a while. It's going to be rotary mowed until the sand's gone. I don't want to dull the new reel. I'm getting ready to water. I've already adjusted the sprinklers. So now we're going to get an initial watering of the sand in. May come back with a hose just to push it down more. That's for a secret project that you all will find out about very soon. There it is 1 week later. I ran over it with the greens mower. The next time I mowed the front yard, I just rolled over it a few times to smooth out those high spots where I had everything cut up. It looks really, really good. The sand's filling in fantastic. So I figure maybe another week and the reel will be going back on. So I hope you all enjoyed this. This was a super easy, in a sense, project. It worked really, really well. I'm pleased with how I was able to raise that soil level up to be even with my driveway. So no more banging around, smooth sailing from here on out. So thank you all for watching. We're gonna see you again really, really soon.